Greetings, Earth Angels, and welcome to Earth Angel Activities, where the goal is to serve and uplift you in your every endeavor to serve the divine by providing you with the messages that you need to recalibrate your mind so that you can vibrate like the divine being you are. So we'll start with our prayer and then we'll hop into the messages. Thank you, Most High God, Divine Mother and Father, angels, ancestors, and spirit guides. Thank you for the viewer, the messages, and for allowing me to be a conduit of your messages. Thank you for clarity, peace, health, spiritual and financial prosperity, the responsible use of our magic, power, and energy, the strength and courage to speak truth to power, the humility to forgive, and the guidance to apply our wisdom. I command that any negative energies sent to impede your messages are sent directly to you to be transmuted into love and healing. In your name, I thank you so much. So it is. Ashe. So let's go ahead and get into it. The Diddy situation. Okay. Now, I had not been following it at all, did not know anything that had been going on, didn't even realize it had been going on for so long until I did the math, like, oh wow, it has been going on for a long time and I had never followed it. Didn't really understand why it was such a big deal that a man was having freak offs. I mean, like, who cares? Why is it a federal case, right? I really didn't, I wasn't following it. And then I finally decided to watch a video and went down the Diddy rabbit hole. And I was like, wow, okay, I get it. I understand. This is it's a case that is being depicted as utter abuse. And the things that he is being accused of, or the narrative that is being created, is causing the spiritual community to look in its direction so intently, because we can see the spiritual crimes that have been taking place. We don't know if this man has truly committed these crimes, but what we do know as a community is that there has always been something a little bit suspicious about the music industry, the entertainment industry, any of the industries that have to use the airways in order to conduct business. Now, there is something so important about the air that if you grew up in Christian, if your background is Christianity like mine, then you remember them speaking about the prince of the air and how the devil was the prince of the air. And then growing in spirituality and looking more so at spiritual foundations and science, and of course God, definitely God, that's foundation, right? But learning that, oh, well, vibrationally speaking, the air has a lot of power in it. And there are a lot of messages that have been sent to us over these airways, and they have influenced our culture, our communities, our mindsets. And there have been times where all of us have been affected by what we're hearing and seeing on these airways. So for it to be Diddy, it's like we're looking like, is this man the devil? Like, is he more than has the devil been dancing in our face the whole time? And we know, the spiritual community knows that there are satanic rituals and that there are sex magic rituals that happen just out in life. So when I know for me, when I heard about the accusations, or when I finally watched the Diddy video, I said, wow, the way this story is being narrated, I wonder who he ticked off. Who did he make angry? Because usually birds of a feather flock together. So I'm just wondering, who did this? And who would expose this much of what's done in the dark with these, evil elites, and also from Christianity. Ephesians 6:12, that very interesting scripture that speaks about the fact that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against evil in high places and evil rulers and rulers of darkness in high places, right? So we know that Diddy is one of those people who is very powerful. At least that's how he's being depicted. But one thing that we as spiritual beings also know is that there's always somebody behind the camera. There is always somebody behind the wheel, whether we see them or not. These people control the media. They control what we hear. They control the narrative. This narrative is a very controlled narrative. Whoever set this up, wow. And spiritually, we want to see if spiritual reparations are going to be handed out. We want to see how this thing really plays out. I want to give you some information about why this thing is so important to the spiritual community. And it has so much to do with music. How music is used to program people, humans. The music is the number one thing. The lyrics, we agree to so many negative spells just by singing along and saying the words and phrases in some of these songs that we would never say on our own volition. Some of the melodies, the hurts in which they're played, they are hurtful hurts designed to cause anxiety and depression. And so many of us and our children and our people, so many of us in the community are dealing with anxiety and depression. And the sad part is that a lot of us don't even know where it's coming from. But the angels and spirit guides, they are telling me that it's coming a lot from what we consume. And they were giving me the word orifice. And they were saying that your orifice affects your aura. So our orifices are holes, basically, openings in our body, our physical vessel, where we receive information. Vibrationally, we receive information through our ears. We receive vibrational light codes through our eyes. We receive vibrational olfactory sensations through our nose. We receive information through our mouths with taste. We receive information with our senses, the sense of touch. Okay, these are all ways that we take information in. And as we take this information in, it affects what we're putting out vibrationally, how our aura is showing up, how we're vibrating in the world. And they know this. And when I say they, I'm talking about these elite evil leaders who have an agenda. And the agenda is to rob us of our energies. The agenda is to look at us and say, this is basically our cattle. They're our cattle. What we pay our attention to is what we're giving the essence of ourselves to. And we're sending that energy right on down the road. And then when it comes to the chosen ones who have this ability to speak life into us, and they have the ability to speak life into the people and to heal a nation and to heal the children, these chosen beings are being silenced by that tricky little thing that we like to call the algorithm. For some reason, some of us are not able to recognize that we need to forget all the facades, drop the labels, and come together as a people based on who we are and what we are vibrationally, and unite with each other. Be able to stand by each other even if we don't agree with everything the other says or does. But we recognize that the overall vibration of our soul tribe is love. The algorithm needs to speak louder to the things we love, the things we want to see more of. But it's difficult to change the algorithm when when bad things are just so intoxicating, bad things are just so interesting to watch, so shocking. You just have to see, what, huh? You have to click on it and it shifts the algorithm. Some things that we watch are so polarizing that we just have to comment. And then what we find is that trolls, they run rampant on the platforms of the chosen, don't they? They run rampant. It's like they all rally together and say, this person is a problem. This platform is going to be a problem. I don't know how they know the things they know, but they know the things they know. So we need to stop that. We need to shut it down. And they work diligently together to do that, right? The voice of the chosen needs to be louder than that. The voice of the chosen needs to start ignoring the things that we don't want to see more of. Don't let the trolls outdo the chosen, okay? Don't let that happen. Don't allow that to happen. The chosen really need to be more like them. And it was crazy that God was showing me this, because I was like, we need to be more like them. But only in the sense of standing united. Because that's the only way that these evil energies can make the advances that they have made. It's because they literally unite. They agree on something crazy. They agree on calamity and they stick to it as a team. Literally teamwork. Okay. Then another thing that I was shown is the men in our community. So we have these men that are allegedly being abused and victimized and baited, right? We have these men that are literally going through this. They're making music that influences the world. They're literally writing the songs, or singing the songs rather, that the whole world sings. And the word sublime and subliminal was coming up all throughout my meditation. When I first woke up this morning, my morning meditation, all throughout the day, and even now as I sat here, the words subliminal and sublime. And so when I looked it up, I saw that subliminal points towards things that take place in the subconscious mind. That's what it is. It's events that occur below the subconscious, below the level of consciousness. So it's so many messages that we have been receiving, through everything we consume. Everything we consume. Okay? But the men most specifically, they have been targeted. And we knew this, right? Willie Lynch, if you read the Willie Lynch letter, you knew this, that was part of the goal, was to basically break the man in front of the women and children so that we would feel unsafe, so that we would teach our children how to be fearful. And that is really what I'm seeing in this, that broken men were created, that Diddy, if this is true, if this narrative is actually a truthful narrative, he was created by monsters. He was a monster that was created by monsters who created more monsters. And these men have been singing lullabies to us, singing us right to sleep, as a community, as a culture, developing these ideas. I mean, we see it, the way, and no, we can't fully blame it all on music, but music is a very, very powerful tool. It is the tool of Satan. It is the tool. And that's why we have to have more earth angels that are involved in making music. We have to have more earth angels who are involved in speaking truth to power. Because our men, they are our protectors, but they've been abused. They've been the main ones that have been abused. And they've also been taking on that mentality vibrationally of abuse, being an abuser, being a victim, being angry, not respecting the family unit, not respecting women. I was listening to an interview. MC Light said that back in the day, KRS-One, and she named a couple other people. She was like, they would have never called a woman a B word. They would have never referred to a woman as that. But the media, they're the ones that are controlling this narrative. Okay, the media controls everything. We don't really know the truth. And the media is used as a weapon, against anybody who steps out of line. So we really don't know the truth. Anything that we hear on the media is all just hearsay. Everything is hearsay. Everything is an allegation. Everything is something that someone said, and now someone is going to go try to prove it either right or wrong. But that is it's so important for us to remember, when we're watching anything, how does what we're watching fit into our truth? The narrative that we create for the increased quality of living of our lives, right? What makes you feel good? Does it make you feel good to participate in some of the shenanigans that the world really truly wants us to participate in? Because as I'm watching this, I'm like, come on, man, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, 1,000, almost 1,000 dildos. I mean, I'm just thinking, I'm just wondering, who generate? Is this real? Is this the truth? Is it really the truth? Who did he tick off? Who was powerful enough to pull this off? And if it is real, bro, wow, that should go in the Guinness Book. And then lastly, with the magic and the rituals, the fact that we can all see the magic in this, that we can see the ritualistic aspect of having that type of party, an orgy type style of party, where we already understand that sex is a sacred energetic exchange. So if someone like Diddy, allegedly, is having these type of parties, wouldn't he have access to that information as well in order to harvest sexual energy? And what does he do with it? What is being done with this sexual energy that's being harvested? Is it even for his own benefit, or was this for someone else? What was this all about? What was this for? Because we all know that these games of sexual power have been played in these powerful offices and companies since the beginning of a company. We know this. And I mean, it was a song that Janelle Monáe did. She was talking about sex and power, and she said, now ask yourself who's screwing who. That's one to listen to. That's a song to listen to really listen to those lyrics, because it's weird, how so many songs tell us truth, and then how so many songs, they tell us truth, but in a way that is expensive to our spirit and our soul. Oh, yeah. When I was channeling this message, I was also being shown that the way that this story is being narrated, is so upfront, in your face type of narrative about so many just despicable things, right? I was being told that that narrative is actually serving as a spiritual firewall. A spiritual firewall that has been designed by whomever has orchestrated this to overshadow a much more sinister thing that is actually happening in the background. It's like this is a firewall to overshadow a much more sinister practice. It's crazy. And if this narrative is really true, I mean, even the fact that he's calling himself love, that love is really that's disrespectful to the idea of love, to associate these heinous things with a name like love. But so I leave you with this. God told me, make sure you tell them to analyze some of your top songs, or when you're really in the zone. That's the thing. Like when you're not really paying attention, try to step into a level of consciousness where you are aware and analyze what you're saying. Ignore the music, turn the music off, and listen to what you're saying, because there was a big energy recently about one of the chosen ones making a deal with the devil. Okay? And this moon, that hunter's moon, that's the type of energy that it brought in, where the adversary, those energies, they are becoming more aggressive in their efforts to try to eliminate those of us who are trying to live for the energy of love, trying to live in the energy of divine purpose. Okay, so don't agree mistakenly. Don't agree to something without realizing that you're agreeing to something. Be more cautious with the things that you allow to come out of your mouth, especially when you're in that flow state with music attached to it. So, yeah, look at the lyrics that you're saying and be more conscious of what you're allowing into your orifices, because it affects your aura in the long run. And that's really what is going on spiritually, why the spiritual community is just so intoxicated with this right now. We want to see these spiritual reparations take place, but we don't even really know what's happening. So focus on your own spiritual path at this time. Enjoy your entertainment, but don't allow it to take too much of you. Okay, don't pay too much of your attention to it, because once that's gone, you can't get it back. So anyways, family, I hope that this message has been enlightening, thought-provoking. Share your comments below, and we'll talk again soon. All right, bye.